They come out here in the eye. On the sneak, it's Prescott. And he'll get nothing out of that one. One score down. Here we go. They're going to go for it here on 4th down.
No gain. Quarterback sneak. No gain. Aren't you supposed to get something out of that?
Yeah, needed a full yard there. Ezekiel Elliott not able to get it past the marker. And the ball will go over on downs on the short side of the field. And a great spot to start this drive from here. And the D-line pinching together must be expecting the run. They'll try and start this drive in the air. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. A gain of 6 there on first. And boy, they had high praise for this rookie receiver when we asked the coaches about him, didn't they?
They certainly did, and obviously they liked his measurables, otherwise they wouldn't have brought him onto the team. Height, weight, speed, all of that. But how about what they really said? Competitiveness. That's what they really liked about him. The way he goes after the football, competes for it, and decides when it's in the air, it's his and only his.
The 4th quarter here, they've got the lead. They want to keep it on the ground. That's what they're doing.
Smart football. Keep the clock grinding. Keep it going. But you got to figure now, they're going to see more people stacked up at the line of scrimmage as they try and bleed it out.
He'll look to throw. Going down the middle, and it's complete. The 21 yards there as they convert on 3rd.
And that pickup of a first down, that's going to leave a mark because they really needed to stop them there, didn't they?
Oh, so frustrating. Defensively, you're a play away from getting that football back here. Down late, tough.
Now they've got to find a way to create a turnover or a takeaway. Otherwise, this one will probably get away from them.
And at this stage of the game, time a factor, time on their side as they just try to eke out the final precious moments of this one. Time for a break. We'll come back, see what transpires after this. Now they'll throw here out of the gun. Finding time. And he can't get a throw off. He's taken down. What a huge play at this point in the game. Defense went 3-4. They got some push from the inside.
And this is something in a 3-4 you don't normally get because the nose tackle who got the sack, he's usually responsible or ends up getting double-teamed and sometimes triple-teamed. How about him working his way back and putting the big guy on the ground?
Looking to throw. That's going to be caught at the 10-yard line. And now the Cowboys are going to call another timeout. That'll leave them with just one remaining in this 4th quarter of play.
Pardon, I think that completion takes the definition of dink and dunk to a different level, doesn't it?
It does, and the defense was right there, kind of played into their hands. So, Charles, I think from a defensive perspective, you have to look at that field goal there and consider it a win.
You were able to keep them within a touchdown, so no question about it. That was the kind of stand that keeps you in ball games.
And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. And out now come the Cowboys. And on that last drive, went for it on 4th, turned it over. A good job by their defense, though. They held them to 3, but this offense, they've got to be a little bit better, a little bit more careful here.
And sometimes when you see these calls on 4th down, when they decide to go for it, it's not necessarily the coach saying, I believe in my offense. Sometimes the coach saying, I believe in my defense. I can afford to go for it here because if we don't get it, I don't think we'll give up more than 3. And that's exactly what happened.
You think that factored in?
I do. I think that he had that in his mind going into the game, that I'm going to be aggressive on offense because I know I've got a defense that can hold up their end.
Here we go.
They'll look to throw. And Bryant's got it over the middle. A nice gain of 21 yards.
One thing I can say pretty safely, that route is not called if you don't have a guy who can throw the ball and put some mustard on it. Because if you're going to lollipop it in the middle of the field, bad things usually happen. It takes a strong-arm guy who can rifle it in there, and they were able to successfully complete that one.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll be brought down, it looks like right at the 40. They get 6 on the pickup there as the drive will continue.
Not too many more ideal situations in 2nd and 2 in order to try and pick up a first down. They ran it and picked it up.
Back to throw. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And they went big on first down. Proves unfruitful.
One of the toughest things about playing defensive back is pattern reading, trying to figure out what they're doing. And on that one, they had to fly, just sending a guy downfield with the in route accompanying it, what people call a dagger route, trying to hit the guy underneath after the clear out. In this case, though, they're not able to get it done.
Yeah, they said forget the underneath route. They went for the guy on the fly, but as you said, incomplete. And he'll be stopped up quickly here at the 38. He only got a couple on that one, so not a ton of help. They'll have a 3rd and 8 forthcoming. He's back to throw.
Partner, we know today's NFL is really built around the guy throwing.
And yes, he's into the end zone. So they get the late score they needed. And now the extra point can tie this thing up in the final minute.
And while it appears the heavy lifting was accomplished by scoring the touchdown, they're still down 1. That extra point is not a gimme.
And now a critical extra point attempt here. And no sweat. He puts it through, and we are tied here in the 4th. So here comes the kickoff now, all even here in this 4th quarter. That'll be taken in the end zone. And with time a factor here late, he'll just take a knee and they'll put it out to the 25. Now this offense ready to take over again. They've got work to do, but they do still have a bit of time here.
And they've got to feel comfortable with that, but they have all their play sequences called. If they get out of bounds, that allows them to huddle and call another play, but if they don't, it's hurry up to the line of scrimmage and either spike it and stop the clock or continue to move it downfield in order to try and get in range and win this game.
See if they can do just that. 5 wides in the game, 4 of them to the right side. They'll come out throwing here on 1st down, escaping the pressure right, and he can't get a throw away. He's taken down. And play is stopped here. Timeout. It's the defense calling the timeout here. That'll be their 3rd and final stoppage here as we step aside. Gun. They'll look to throw. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete. Danny Amendola, that was the intended target. 3rd down here. They got pressure there and only rushing 3.
And there's a defensive coordinator right now who is celebrating not just getting home with 3 there, but realizing if that's the type of pressure he can get in the entire game, then his pass defense is going to be excellent. You're dropping 8. Where are you going to go with the football?
A loss of a yard, and it brings up 4th. It's a little teaching moment here. Overtime rules. Remind us how this goes, partner.
Okay, so in the past, we had sudden death. First team to score wins, but no longer. Now, if the team receives the ball, scores a touchdown, they win the game. If they kick a field goal, though, or don't score, the other team gets a possession. And after both teams get a possession, then we're into sudden death. First team to score wins the game.
Nothing between these two teams for 4 quarters. Here we go to begin overtime. This is fielded a couple yards deep. They'll bring it back to just about the 25, call it the 24-yard line. Now the Cowboys offense heads back onto the field. They're set for their first drive here in overtime, and this is where the crowd can really become a factor.
They've had to battle it all day, but I know what you're saying. In overtime, That gets doubled, doesn't it? At least, because now the crowd really wants to be involved and help their team, and that first drive can dictate the whole thing because they know if this team takes it downfield and scores a touchdown, it's game over.
It's been loud in here so far. And on 2nd and 10 now. They go back to Elliott. He's been busy. And he's able to plow forward up to about the 29, just shy of the 30.
Frustrating for a defense, energizing for an offense. Finding a way to create that type of yardage in your running game, that'll make the guys carrying the ball very, very happy.
So following the run, we'll see what they do here on 3rd down. One man in the backfield, Elliott. Here comes the first throw in OT for Prescott. And that is incomplete.
I'm not sure we could spot any tendency here on this 3rd down. They could have run it or passed it. Either one was available. They chose to try and get it through the air, but they were unsuccessful.
This is away and a very good kick angled for the sidelines. And this will be out of bounds, and they spot it at the 15-yard line. Not too bad. Now this offense ready to head back out there. Their defense did its job, got the stop. All they need is 3, and this is over.
Couldn't have done much else other than score themselves and end it. But they turned it back over to them, and now all they need is a field goal to win the game. Excellent job by the defense. Can the offense finish things off?
Part 1 is done, now part 2.
So much goes into a successful play, doesn't it? How about that play action there? Freezing the defense just enough to bring the tight end free downfield for the completion.
Flush to his right. And he whips that one incomplete there. So how about that one, Charles? We haven't seen that in a while. The illegal forward pass.
The quarterbacks get so much leeway on this play that you're right, Brandon. It is very rare that we see the call come out for a legal forward pass.
Let's go! 1, 9,
They'll set up a throw. Oh, and it's intercepted. A great read, and it's picked off. And his guys are going to get the football at the 28-yard line. The offense for the Cowboys now working their way back onto the field. Neither team scored yet. Now we go to sudden death. Next points win this game.
How about the tension right now? It is ratcheted up, isn't it? I mean, now whatever happens, points are scored, that's your ball game. Can't wait to see the defense now. Do they get a little more aggressive in order to not let the team just drive the ball easily down the field?
Got to be careful, though, right?
Yeah, if you're too aggressive, you just give up something easy and cheap. But some defensive coordinators, they'd rather take a stand that way as opposed to being nickel and dime down the field.
Possible run anticipation. Here's the D-line sandwiches together. A give to Elliott. And he'll be taken down near the 20 at the 21. 3 yards on the pickup. That's going to set up an interesting 3rd and about 4 to go.
Well, I think we know by now that every run is not going to be broken and get all the way to the end zone. But these short ones still have their value. You can still set up your play action and throw the football. You control the clock because you have the ball and they don't. And often the physicality sets the tempo for the game.
And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage back at the 22. That'll make it 4th down after a loss of 1. Now hang on here. Timeout called by the defense. They'll be left with just 1 remaining here at OT. Oh, they get to the football. It's blocked. Through an opening, and there he goes. Past the 20. And he's into the end zone for the touchdown and the game winner in OT. Well, as if overtime wasn't a twist enough to this plot, a blocked field goal return for a touchdown to put a capper on this crazy game.
Crazy indeed. And we had 4 quarters of really good football. But how about the bonus we got that turned into this? And all I keep thinking about is the team that was kicking the field goal. There was a breakdown somewhere that allowed the block to happen.
And then the scoop, and to take it the rest of the way in the other direction. What an ending.
That's dramatic indeed, folks. And let's head to the airport, partner.
So for the home team here, they're not going to go quietly here as the win moves them now to 8-6 on the year. And now it's off to Heathrow as they get set to fly back to the U.S. in a couple hours.